and Melanie on the show a bit later on as well. And there's a growing digital divide apparently affecting school kids, not just in our region but across England. Approximately 1 million kids, if you're not aware, they don't sadly have the adequate access to things like digital devices and services, connectivity within their homes. And while recent research, which has been carried out by Lloyds Bank, has estimated that 700,000 kids and their families don't have the skills or devices to carry out their homework, children in areas of high deprivation are struggling even more. There is some good news because one group has been working to try and bridge that divide to help families across Hartlepool. It's the Wharton Trust. Sacha Bedding is from the charity, and Sacha's with us on BBC Radio T's Breakfast this morning. Morning, Sacha.
Morning, Neil. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, how's it been going? Because to say it's been an eclectic mix and something that you've got to weave in between and try and help people, I guess underestimates the last 16 weeks, does it?
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, it is an issue. It's been an issue for a long time. It's one of those issues which has surfaced due to COVID because suddenly people are aware that actually there is a massive disconnect, literally, for huge swathes of our communities.
How widespread, I mentioned about the digital deprivation, how widespread is that for young people in Hartlepool, and tell us the impact and the knock-on effect it's starting to have?
Yeah, well, I mean, working with Dykhouse School, there's about 20% of their students in each year group don't have the appropriate facilities to access online learning, for one of
20%? 1 in 5?
20%, yeah,
oh, wow.
yeah, 20. So you're looking at 50 kids in each year group, 250 kids in one school. You can multiply that across probably 3 of the others.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at thousands of children who, for 14 weeks, haven't had the same opportunity to learn, or 15 weeks, and it's going to go on through the summer, as their peers. And it's one of those things which people don't necessarily see unless it impacts them.
Yeah, I completely get that. And again, I know we talked a while back, didn't we, about that presumption that you have a bit of kit or your son has access to that as well. And that's far from reality for a lot of families. And thankfully, you recently received, didn't you, some devices to hand out to try and bridge that gap. What difference is that making?
Well, the Provincial Grand Lodge of Durham, so it was the Freemasons, have awarded us like a couple of £1,000 to get.
Oh, wow.
5. Yeah, which is it's a start, isn't it?
Of course it is.
And so we've got those ready to go, and we're liaising with the school. So look, which of the kids, and my guess is it'll be year 10 kids who've got the GCSEs coming up next year, who are really going to benefit from this the most, in terms of they're engaged in the learning, they're going to use it, they're going to benefit. And we've got 2 months' worth of data on there, which should hopefully see them back to school and some level of normality in September. Because there's nothing. I mean, if we give them a device so they can't get the internet, there's no point.
Absolutely. And just on that issue, Sacha, you're involved with Operation Wi-Fi as well. That obviously comes together with the devices, does it, hopefully?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and the interesting thing is that whatever we do now, I mean, like we've heard the trails from Rishi Sunak. The government aren't going to address the inequalities around this. So I think what we need to do, and Hartley Power, another organisation working with locally in Hartlepool, are on the process of trialling accessible broadband provision, so that you could potentially pay for a week's worth rather than a month's worth, because it's the upfront monthly expenditure which penalises people who live on a more weekly, day-to-day basis. And so, there are things where you've got to disrupt the market to really get the long-term solution, but meanwhile, some of us are just trying to mitigate it as best we can.
Let's hope so. In terms of the government support, are you finding that? Is that starting to come through now?
I mean, the government have funded all sorts of stuff, but what they're not doing is there isn't really an attempt to level this. There's no appetite within the government to turn around and say, actually, the broadband market doesn't work for maybe 20% of the kids in Hartlepool, so we're going to change it. There isn't that appetite. DFE have put laptops and stuff into areas, but you're talking 200 laptops across the town. Which
the government, for people who aren't aware, said disadvantaged kids across England would receive laptops and tablets so they could learn at home during the coronavirus outbreak. In real terms, what have you seen in Hartlepool?
200 laptops,
right.
About 200 laptops, but that then doesn't then give you the access to the internet. So actually, that's not even enough for one school.
Yeah, they need to be married alongside each other, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, you need more than that. Now, it is one of those things where if we're committed to giving children a full educational experience and a social experience as well, then we need to, we need to address it at a more structural level.
Okay.
And the appetite isn't there, so we'll mitigate it with small amounts of money, and we'll work with others to try and disrupt the market to give people a fighting chance of being able to do it.